Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Time is up. Audio is good. Connection is stable, as it should be. Welcome. My name is Ike. This is TAGN, the Angry Game News. No, Sarge, not gay. Game. Don't think about assholes of man the whole time. Speaking of Dear Sarge Ahoy, Ahoy Bimo, we're going to talk today about AI a little bit more. And I just found this particular dude. I heard his name in the past. I still don't know anything about him. Shroud being considered as one major, superb premium creator out there. He won like creator awards, like creator of the year 3 times in the past. I just heard his name in the past, had no idea who that guy is, and I still don't want to know. He seems to be lame because I watched over his account. I couldn't see anything appealing on his YouTube account the past 6 months. I scrolled through it, I clicked on many videos, I checked out 1 or 2 interviews he did. Yes, nothing like outstanding there, but for some reason, he has 6.8 million subscribers on YouTube alone and is considered like this genius FPS player, whatever. I think he's very gay, mainly because of this article I saw today. He blaming the Game Awards for snubbing out his favorite game right now, ARC Raiders. And here we come to that. And we have more AI stuff, Ubisoft kind of AI related, and other little AI articles we're gonna talk about. Looks good except for the gay dude. The gay dude you see on screen right now. That's Shroud. That's Shroud. His lips look like he has seen some wieners very close to his mouth. He is so close to the screen. Yeah, Shroud. But before we come to that particular topic, let's go over regular stuff, because I talk mainly about games, video games, hardware, but sometimes about movies and TV shows. A school is banning kids from singing K-pop Demon Hunter songs. I just was like, can't be in the US, because that would be considered like impeachment of your First Amendment, and that's not going to happen in the US, and it was not in the US, it was in the UK. Schools love to crush kids' spirits when they're all collectively hyper-fixating on something. So it's almost surprising that it took 4 months of pop culture dominance for an educational institute to try and ban K-pop Demon Hunters from its hallways. Is it because the kids are too busy singing about the power of friendship to do their classwork? Nope. It's because some folks at the school are apparently uncomfortable with children referencing something with demons in it. And I think Demon Hunters is to hunt demons, so it's against demons. I could be wrong, I haven't seen it yet, and I don't plan to see it anyway. But I think the title implies a certain overall topic here. The BBC reports that the Christian Lilliput Church of England Infant School in Poole, Dorset, sent an email to families on Friday, November 14, saying that some of the church Christian employees and students are deeply uncomfortable with the film's reference to demons, which include the songs the titular girl group performs. The email asked parents to tell their kids not to sing these songs at school out of respect for those who find the themes at odds with their faith. I mean, it makes sense in that sense if it's like a church school, like a faith school in some regard. It makes sense that they send out those letters. But with the reasoning behind it is a little bit stupid, which we come to it in a second here. What the fuck is this Rainbow ARC Raiders shit I keep seeing on thumbnails all over Rumble? Just a third-person shooter, extraction shooter, like it's called. You fight against robots, and it's including AI voices, mainly. AI voices, and people are just having fun with it. It's not my game, but people seem to have a lot of fun with it. That's okay. But we come to that. Don't worry. Dear gay sort. The latest trend all the cool kids are doing, I guess. Yes. Let's see if it lasts more than another couple of weeks. It depends on what comes next, like a hype game. While we fully respect your right to make choices about the content your child engages with at home, we also want to be mindful at the diversity of beliefs within our school community. That is saying Lloyd Ellington, the head teacher. So in the same phrase, he wants diversity supposedly in his school, and beliefs, but not if it goes against the main belief. It's a little bit hypocritical. Just don't use words like the diversity and beliefs in plural if you are against other children's beliefs in the same fucking sentence. Makes zero sense in my humble retard opinion, as usual. So you should be just saying, yeah, we are like a Christian faith school. We are leaning to Christian faith, which is nothing wrong with it, actually, right? It depends on if people want to send their children to your school or not and give you money for the education. And leaning towards the Christian faith, nothing wrong with that. But don't use such words like diversity. I'm going to read it again because just to see how stupid it is, actually. While we fully respect your right to make choices about the content your child engages with at home, different opinions, different faith view on the world and all that, we also want to be mindful of the diversity of beliefs within our school community. So why are you saying the second part here in this phrase, in this sentence? It doesn't include, it is not diverse if you try to exclude those children from singing songs. For some Christians, reference to demons can feel deeply uncomfortable because they associate them with spiritual forces opposed to God and goodness. But still, we should be mindful of diversity, as long as it's the same diversity we have. Makes no sense. You're just hypocritical. We are not asking parents to tell their children that there is anything wrong with enjoying the film or its songs if it aligns with your own views and beliefs. Our role will simply be to help children understand that some of their peers may hold different views and to explore how we can respect and support those peers in upholding their faith. As long as it's the same faith. I'm just saying, I'm not a God-believing guy, as many know, but just stick to your beliefs and don't tell anything controversial or like the opposite what you actually believe. It makes no sense. But yes, they try to silence kids. And like I said, if you're a Christian school, that's all good and fine, but don't send stupid signals. Very stupid signals. Seeing anything become trendy on Rumble just makes me think of things like Dr. Douche and Charlie Kirk. BBC Raiders is what Sarge wants to play. BBC Raiders? Depends on what BBC is, right? Remember last year when every fucker and his left-handed brother was working Dr. Douche into their thumbnail? They still kind of do it. And our most beloved superstar on Rumble, by the way, since Dr. like you call him, Douche Respect, I don't care for him at all. I don't watch his streams. I think they are boring in general. I don't see anything special with it. But Silvercock, since then, put on some very similar glasses to be super cool with the new upcoming generation of Cox viewers. Which is weird, but it is what it is, man. It's a trend that hasn't gone away yet. And now, because he has this little bit of fame, more people try to do collabs with Silvercock, which is another story. It's a weird story. But yes, I remember that. Gotta love doublespeak. Ike does not like dicks in his mouth. No, I stay away from having any wieners in my mouth. He only accepts a diversity of dicks on his lips. Oh, ouch. So how that makes no sense? I don't know. Yeah, I just find like such a head teacher talking in such hypocritical forms and manners. Very stupid. Makes no sense. Either you keep your mouth shut or don't send contradictory messages to anybody, really. Keep the faith in the school the same and don't try to use diversity for your cause. Stupid. You know who is also stupid? Ubisoft. Ubisoft just can't stay out of fucking controversies either. They blaming everything and everybody else but themselves and their ass products, which are ass games here, because Ubisoft produces games, right? And publishes games. Assassin's Creed publisher Ubisoft says many new games are struggling as players turn away from traditional releases in favor of subscriptions, live service, and free-to-play games. And they are going to contradict themselves in this article, also like the teacher just did in the previous article. Because, yeah, about live subscription services there. Ubisoft has warned of falling company revenues and said it's seen that many new games are struggling to stand out as players turn away from traditional full-price releases. It's already wrong, a wrong statement. They are turning away in particular from you, Ubi slop. How many people call them today? Not from traditional full-price releases, because it doesn't matter really for the player if it's like full-priced or live service, but usually gamers tend towards, if they buy the game, they just can install it and just play it without thinking about, oh, will the server go down in a year and I can't play this game and all that, because it's live subscription and all that crap. So usually, actually, players prefer full-price releases, and they have kind of an ownership of the product. Projects that would previously have stood out are now finding it tough to achieve the sales they may once had. I think one had too much, but English, motherfucker, you know my English.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I try. Ubisoft wrote in a new UK financial filing, which blames a wider change in taste among players. Now here you kind of blame the players, you know? Not our approach to making games with DEI insert in every aspect of our game, in sound design, in voice acting, in visuals, in the gameplay, even putting in diversity, you know? Blaming everything but themselves. And here you blame pretty much the players. Oh, you players are not buying our game, so it's their fault. We are doing bad. Explaining that the traditional full game model of selling a single 50 to 60 pound game to a consumer as a one-time purchase was continuing to become less ubiquitous. Ubisoft said players were now opting to spend their time and money in other ways, such as subscription services, long-running games as a service titles. Or you mean like UrhG, and everything started with UrhG there, you know, with this racing game, which you had a solo campaign, but you still needed to be connected to a server all the time? You mean like such a service players want? Liars. Free-to-play games and cloud streaming. I mean, yes, for many players, for many gamers, that are casual gamers that don't care really to own a game, if they can subscribe to a game, let's say for 2 months to a subscription based, and can play a lot of games, just if they are maybe unemployed for the time being, just to distract themselves from life or something like that, it makes sense. Yes, a subscription based service there. But overall, no. I want my game to buy, have it in my library at least, and install it whenever I want and just play it. And that's a lot of players like me, actually. But yes, it's becoming maybe a little bit more like casualty stuff, just subscribing to something. Ubisoft sounds like a condition that needs a little blue pills to remedy. Why are you thinking all of this about dicks? That's what I ask. Ubisoft. No, Ubisoft. Plus they are, and not just Ubisoft, are asking way too much for physical media games. And not really, at least not in, on my corner of the world. You can get the physical to the same price pretty much, which makes no sense either, you know, but it is what it is, right? The remarks come amid, in a nutshell, Ubisoft continued. Consumers are playing fewer games, and while some one-off full-price titles were continuing to be successful, these had become a few notable exceptions to the wider trend. It continued. Like you had no success with your last 5, I repeat, last 5 AAA games. And a AAA game is usually, if it costs you in production at least $100 million to make, not including the marketing budget. For example, Skulls and Bones by Ubisoft supposedly cost them $800 million. And do you hear anything of that game these days? No. Not at all. Not at all. So, yeah, you're talking about the success of other games. Let's just be very clear here once more, Ubisoft. The remarks come amid a continued period of uncertainty for Ubisoft, which has suffered layoffs and sizable corporate restructure in the past year. The Paris-headquartered company, whose biggest franchises are now operated by independent subsidiary backed by Tencent. That subsidiary company holds now the rights to the franchises Far Cry, Rainbow Six Siege, and what was the other one? I forgot. Oh shit, Assassin's Creed. Yes, those 3 franchises are now in this joint venture company subsidiary, and Tencent put in like billions of dollars in that company to own those franchises now, and that subsidiary company is now more worth than Ubisoft itself. Let that sink in. If you look at all the numbers, the rest of the franchise at Ubisoft, the franchises, are not worth that much. I mean, the worth might get higher for the subsidiary company too. It depends on how Tencent goes with those franchises. Silvercup must be soft. That's why he outsourced the taking down of his wife to others. I don't know about his cock. I don't want to think about his cock. He just likes to see other dude bang his wife. And we have many players on Rumble, gamers, who love to collaborate with that very superior morally individual called Silvercock. It's weird, but it is what it is. This fame chasing is weird. Has struggled to find its next big hit after disappointing sales of Star Wars Outlaws and continued attempts to crack the increasingly saturated live service game market, such as with doomed shooter X-Defiant and the preemptively cancelled The Division Heartland. So Ubisoft is telling everybody, again, contradiction here, is telling everybody, yeah, players just don't want those full-price games anymore. They are more into live service games. That's why we fail all the time. But also, we had X-Defiant and Rainbow Six Siege and all those games are also like live service games. X-Defiant flopped pretty much, and we just canceled the Division Heartland, despite being what the player wants. So whose fault might it be that you don't succeed, Ubisoft? They keep on lying and blaming everybody else for their failures. Last week, Ubisoft dramatically halted trading of its company shares and postponed the wider firm's latest financial report mere minutes before a scheduled shareholder call was due to go live. Days later, Ubisoft is yet to provide more context for the move. As fans of its games, do they still have fans? Not a lot. And the vast majority of its staff wait to hear more. Yeah, we all are waiting. How successful SS in Creed, the George Floyd edition, was. We are still waiting for real numbers, by the way. Still. Oi, Mrs. Sarge. Viagrain? What the fuck is Viagrain? What the heck is Viagrain? Beamer sounds familiar. Wasn't there a company called Neversoft? Neversoft? Maybe, probably. But in the gaming sector? Could be, doesn't ring any bells. They are here. Neversoft sponsored by Viagra and cocaine. Okay. I mean, makes sense. Yes, cocaine and Viagra. We're never gonna go soft. Patent that shit. So ask your doctor if a 6-hour hard-on is right for you. I think there was like in the very early days of Viagra, if it is standing for more than an hour, you should go maybe see a doctor. Something like that, something very similar. But maybe people like having a boner for a whole day, who knows? It would be kind of uncomfortable, especially when you need to pee. Every man knows how that goes. Anal exists. Say more than half of gamers prefer single-player games. That is kind of very contradictory to Ubisoft's statements, right? The future for single-player games has been a question mark since the rise of multiplayer and live service titles across the video game industry. But according to a newly released survey from Ampere Anal Isis, single-player game remained the preference for 56 of gamers. Ampere has shared the results of its survey, which had responses from 34,000 players across 22 different markets around the world, which is kind of a bigger number. Usually those surveys, you're going to see another survey today, have way less people being included. So 34,000 is kind of a good number here. The higher, the better. The more average numbers you're actually going to get. The new findings note that interest in the single-player games has increased 4% over the last 4 years, and that there's only a small percentage of women, 58%, who favor those titles over men, 56%, who share their preferences. So it's kind of the actually opposite, like Ubisoft just claimed, right? Over the last 4 years, it increased in people want single-player games, and usually single-player games are full-price games. Usually, you know, you buy it once and just being left alone and in peace to play the games. Maybe this survey proves Ubisoft they are liars. One of the key findings from the survey suggests that the fan interest in single-player games increases with age. So the older you get, the more you're going to be a fan of single-player games, which makes sense, you know. You don't want to compete online with others the older you get. I mean, I would like to see Mrs. Sarge compete against older senior citizens out there in maybe first-person shooters. I don't know. She knows how to play though. If you haven't seen her ever, how she plays, go look up Dear Sarge's side channel, where he and his wife, Mrs. Sarge, played games, and she was like showing Dear Sarge how to play games on an N64 actually. Only 49% of younger players between 16 and 24 preferred single player, while 64% of gamers age 55 to 64 favored it. Among gamers 25 to 34, single player games were preferred by 56%. So close to middle-aged men pretty much are preferring more and more single player games. The report notes that the US has the highest share of gamers who prefer single-player titles with 65%. However, Chinese gamers reportedly have the least interest in single-player games, with only 47% of players saying that they prefer those titles. I mean, hard to say if the Chinese really prefer that, because they are very being observed by their government in every move they do, and more and more games there are going to be probably released only with some kind of online connection and controllability by the government. So hard to say if those numbers make any sense there. On the other hand, maybe the Chinese are just lost and we can't get them back. They are just loving the government dick these days. Who knows? Communism is the best there. You know, I could win. Only because my children showed me how, because they wanted more competition. Chinese better at groupthink. I don't know if it's groupthink. I think it's just more the control aspect. Like, they feel probably weird if the government has not oversight over their every movement, even if it's only gaming itself. And also, many games probably are not allowed to be released there either if they don't have any kind of connectivity with online platforms and all that. So I don't know really how it goes there. This data reaffirms that single-player games are absolutely still viable and sought after in the live service-dominated landscape, said Ampere Senior Research Manager Louise Woolrich. The market favors multiplayer games for their ongoing engagement and monetization, but cracking a finely balanced formula for single-player games can leverage this broad audience appeal. Although most gamers prefer this content to multiplayer experiences, the friendship circle still plays a significant role in game discovery and uptake. Maybe. I am not so sure these days. I mean, I'm just speaking from myself, from my perspective mainly, of course. The older I get, the less I am in competitive mode, the less I care for online games, because a lot of those online games have a lot of slop included in it. And for example, Arc Raiders for me is exactly in that like wedge of slop. It could be fun in a party and all that, but it doesn't look like it's keeping me kind of addicted, if I can use that word, to just keep being logged in every day in that. The last game that did for me like online multiplayer really was World of Warcraft. After I was done with that game, I just searched maybe for multiplayer games, and we played here actually on Rumble a lot. Mario Kart on the emulators. Mario Kart Wii is just biggest fun for me multiplayer wise. But I was just tired after a while, just organizing that stuff, and people being just sloppy themselves, lazy, don't want to organize and keep up with that. Also, time issues, of course, here in Switzerland with the rest of the US. In recent years, Naughty Dog cancelled a Last of Us multiplayer title to focus on a single-player games like the upcoming Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet, which gonna be a bullshit game. It's gonna flop. I hope they're gonna lose all their monies. Baldur's Gate 3, the director Sven Winke has forcefully pushed back on the notion that single-player titles are dead. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is for many people very fun because you can play it with your friends together online in multiplayer mode. Just saying. The Witcher and Cyberpunk developer CD Projekt Red has shared its commitment to single-player games as well. And they are very successful with that approach. Single-player games still very sought after. I agree with that one statement was made in this article. If you do it right, means audio has to be okay, gameplay has to be okay, story has to be decent, and visuals, if the visuals are fine too, it's gonna be like a overall package, a pleasing package. And that's why we got a game that was nominated for many trophies in the Game Awards. We're gonna come to that in a second. Not gonna talk about every nomination there, but you're gonna see what I mean. Chinese better at group thinking, more like shit talk circle. Shit talk circle. More lies by big corporations and companies. And I proved multiple times that it's a lie, but they try to keep that lie up and alive. Xbox president says hardware is core to the Xbox ecosystem. Last month, Xbox president Sarah Bond confirmed that Microsoft is developing a next-gen Xbox console. Bond has reiterated that statement several times as Microsoft faces rumors that it's getting out of the hardware business. Now, Bond is once again hyping up the next incarnation of Xbox by calling it a powerful experience. And I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to show you all the older articles that prove that she's full of it and just... I'm exposing her once more with my statement only today, though. In a second. Bond shared her belief that players want the freedom to choose to play their games on Xbox PC or the cloud, and the next Xbox will give them the options to do so. She made similar comments while promoting the ROG Xbox Ellie in October, which is made completely by Asus. So I don't think Microsoft had any saying in the production of that particular hardware piece of hardware. Although it's been expected that PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox will debut in 2027, a video game analyst has suggested that the recent Grand Theft Auto 6 delay could push both consoles to the 2028 debut. In the meantime, Microsoft recently made it easier for indie developers to make games for Xbox by releasing development documents. So the main thing here, why I'm going to expose her again as a liar, is all the major companies, stores, outlets there are pulling more and more hardware off the shelves by Microsoft, Xbox related. Like first-party made Microsoft hardware. You're going to see less and less in the stores. Walmart, Costco, all those companies are taking more shelf space for other stuff than Xbox consoles and peripherals. And when they announced the new hardware, they made clear like they are just giving input to AMD in particular, because the new hardware is going to be made by AMD. What they want to see, they are not giving AMD like the big monies. Make for us a very specific hardware piece, meaning the APU, which considers the CPU and the GPU in one package there. They just made suggestions what they would like to see. And on top of that, they made very clear everything is going to be an Xbox. Xbox is just going to be a platform, mainly like a software platform, mainly like a software store for their products and games. And also they put out just a few months ago their certification program, meaning what you need hardware-wise to be considered an Xbox in a broader meaning here, in a broader term. So they are absolutely not producing hardware by themselves for the future. That's bullshit. I don't know why she tries to keep up this bullshit and calls it rumors that they are going out of the business of making hardware. They are not going to make hardware. They are going to rely completely in the future upon third-party manufacturing. Ahoy, haste. Oh, are these assholes killing Xbox? Fuck them. They're not killing Xbox, but we're just gonna put the rumor, making it come true more and more. Because why would you need to speak again against supposed rumors? You showed us nothing. You showed us actually the opposite, that you are gonna go out of the hardware producing business here. Microsoft, man, you can't take them serious these days. Maybe we should consider taking somebody else a little bit more serious. I love just this news. It's a side note pretty much, but Game Informer is coming to newsstands. If you like to have a magazine in your hand, like paper, and just skipping pages, you might have here a chance to get Game Informer for pretty cheap. 10 issues a year. You're gonna get like the paper, if you're living in the US, that is. Print and digital, you're gonna get access to the digital. Exclusive web features, whatever that means, I don't know. They can't tell you either. Fewer ads, and 5% support the St. Jude Hospital, I think Children's Hospital, that is. So if you like magazines, you're gonna get it. If you see it, the plans. You can also get only the digital access for the digital magazine, which is too expensive in my opinion. But if you like the paper stuff, right now, kind of very fair priced. 10 issues for not even $50. If you like game magazines, here you are. I'm pretty sure you're not gonna get any CDs or medias like with it, like demos back in the days. Oh, I missed those days actually so much. Fucking internet destroyed a lot, actually. But yes, just a little side note here. Now, speaking of Microsoft and their lies, Microsoft is owning Activision. A little reminder, whoever forgot that. Activision isn't sharing any Black Ops 7 launch weekend game stats, which is kind of very concerning here. Internet crashed, resetting router, my phone works at least. Fuck your Cox sucker. C-O-X, Cox. That's what his provider is. I plugged up my Xbox Series S as a little 360 backwards compatible system. Everything is smooth as butter. Yeah, if you got it like on the old prices, cheaper, makes sense. Haste. Not so much these days. 2 price hikes. Everybody needs to be reminded, Microsoft did 2 price hikes this year alone for their Xbox S and X. We're back for real. I like things in my hand. Yes, I do. You rabbit dick there, Tin Rabbit. You small rabbit dick. Beamer is back. He was away. Who knows what he did? He maybe touched himself in the meantime. He was all aroused by the Viagra talk, probably. Stupid cooks, says Mrs. Sarge. Okay, why it's a bad sign, in my opinion? If it would be successful, you're gonna brag with numbers. But because they don't show us any numbers, the game was just launched last Friday. Yeah, Friday, 14th. And they don't show us any numbers still? Very concerning. Very, very concerning. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 launch weekend is done, and the official social media accounts have shared traditional thank you post to players and fans. However, this year's post is unusually devoid of player stats or any figures that might suggest how the latest COD title is faring. And because this lack of numbers is there, I think it did very badly, really very, very badly, because they couldn't brag with it. So who knows how many games they actually sold and how many people subscribed in particular for this one game to their ultimate subscription there, which is about $30 overall, the ultimate subscription per month. Or you can get still it at GameStop, the $20 ultimate cards. Go get them as long as you want it for cheaper. In the past years, the Call of Duty social media account has always shared a few impressive statistics to celebrate launch weekend. Last year's Black Ops 6 was named the biggest Call of Duty 3-day opening weekend ever, breaking franchise records for the number of the total players, hours played, and total matches across the launch period. The previous year, the Call of Duty account shared some more select statistics to celebrate MW3 as having the highest engagement in the new Modern Warfare trilogy. And this year, just silence. I mean, there are two main reasons here. Absolutely two main reasons. Or maybe three, but game-wise, two main reasons. Battlefield 6, pretty successful. 10 million players. They came out with that number pretty quickly, 10 million players already. And Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders just breaking records. It's priced very decently, I would say, like about $40 on average. So $40 for a game that is beloved for now still. Let's see how long this hype's gonna go on. And of course, like the use of AI and people not being happy about that. Also the story campaign being like lame, even according to game journalists, which is weird. Usually those game journalists are absolutely for weird concepts and all that, The campaign can be only played online, so even like the main campaign online, not the multiplayer stuff, like the battles themselves, but playing against the CPU, the computer actually has to be connected online with, and you can play it with others too if you want to. But that is pissing off a lot of people. So you are losing a lot of friends because of many, many aspects actually here. And that's why your numbers are probably really not looking good. And I have to remind everybody, again, Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard for 69, or a little bit less, 68 billion US dollars. They just bought them up and thought like, yeah, Call of Duty, money printing machine. Good luck. Doesn't look good for this year at least. Maybe with the next iteration of Call of Duty, maybe with an update, maybe with a DLC, like the zombies stuff is not out yet. Maybe you can get some players back. But as long as the hype is there for Arc Raiders and Battlefield 6, I think you're going to have a tough few more couple weeks. Crazy. I paid $250 for the Series S and two Series X for 2. Why do you need 2? Additional 2 Series X. What's wrong with you? All that money could go to my channel here. Wasting my money there too. That's wild, kind of wild. 375 on Black Friday a couple of years ago. A good deal, I would say. Cocksucker for the internet service is bad. Good deals, hit the like and stuff. Yeah, like a repost. But maybe the likes will do something. I have no evidence. I have zero evidence. The dislike will trigger mostly Sarge, by the way. He's gonna be more triggered than me. Because I don't see it right away. I don't care. I have bills to pay. Not a lot, actually, because I don't care for taxes. Still. Not a third year in a row. I don't care for taxes. I don't pay my health bills, which we have health insurance, mandatory health insurance in Switzerland. I don't care for those either. It's gonna come something in the future, probably. And I paid like my rent actually for the next year in total right away. I don't want to get that off my shoulders. Just be a little more chill. But yes, if you want to give me all your money, I'm all up for that. I got it because of the rumored disc-less Series X coming out, and I gotta play my disc copy of 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. Well, you love that game, huh, it seems. But yes, Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, not a good launch, it seems. Not a good launch, otherwise they would have shown us numbers. Tin Rabbit can't read, unfortunately. He is very illiterate, I think. He has forgotten. Or can't read. One or the other. Now, people are waiting for this one. Not me, but some people are. You know? Some people are. Not me, I'm not saying it. But some people. Christian Bale may be joining Leonardo DiCaprio in Michael Mann's long-awaited Heat 2. I mean, who is waiting for that, really? Not me. I think Heat had like in some regard, perfect ending. Violent. Some people died, others got away, and all that. I was fine with the ending of that movie. I don't need a sequel. Director Michael Mann's Heat 2 is seemingly shaping up its A-list cast, with Christian Bale reportedly in talks to join the long-awaited prequel-sequel alongside Leonardo DiCaprio, who is said to be joining the film in the role of Chris Shearelsis, played by the late Val Kilmer in the original film. It's unclear which role Christian Bale might play in Heat 2. Heat 2 was originally published as a 2022 novel by Heat writer-director Michael Mann and author Meg Gardiner, flashing back and forth between different periods leading up to the fateful events of the first film and after its violent conclusion. It's expected that the film will follow the same structure. I mean, fine. It might be good, it might be bad, I don't know. I don't think Heat needed a sequel or prequel, because they are trying to make it like a back and forth visual telling here. Al Pacino, the De Niro, maybe being in this Heat 2, I am not sure, but it's just weird to me why after 3 decades they're still into making a sequel here. Not waiting for that. But I thought it might be important to tell people. Lol, I do the voices instead. No, I'm not gonna talk like climate bitch. All these computers switched on and the winter months consuming electricity doing climate harm. You should be ashamed, how dare you. I actually, in my office here, I turned down the heater, the radiator here, because first I have to pay, for heat up my rooms, and my computer does a lot of heating while it's on and I'm using it. So, makes sense. All the heat from the computer is good. Man, this better not suck. I love heat. It might suck. Also, Leonardo DiCaprio actually breaking one of his own rules. And this one rule is like, he never does sequels. Now that is his first. As far as I know, that would be his first sequel of a movie he is gonna participate. Michael Mann produces good stuff. It's supposed to be a prequel. No, like I said, it's gonna be switching back and forth in time, in the telling and all that story stuff. Gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. Gonna be weird. Now to the Game Awards, because Ubisoft is not gonna get any Game Awards. I hope not, those fuckers. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 makes Game Awards history as most nominated game ever. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 released back in April. The widespread praise across the industry. Too widespread praise. It is now rounding out monumental year with those 12 Game Award nominations, including Game of the Year and Best Performance nods for Ben Starr, Charlie Cox. Oh, it's the Cox! It's the Cox! It's actually a name, but I think the provider is an acronym, right? And Jennifer English, which is gay, by the way. Very gay. Jennifer is super gay. She's kind of cute, but still gay. There are so many that deserving precious games from this year, and to be nominated among them makes us so very thank you, says the guy from the company who made Clair Obscur at Sandfall Interactive. As well as Clair Obscur Expedition 33, other games leading the nominations at this year's Game Awards include Death Stranding 2, 7 nominations, Ghost of Nobody, 7. I mean, why? It's like pity nominations here, but 7? Really? That shows you like those awards mean really nothing that much these days. Hades 2, 6, Hollow Knight, Silksong 5, and Split Fiction 4. Sony, meanwhile, is the most nominated publisher. And down in the video description, you have the link to this article. You can read all for yourself in which category those nominations were sent out there. I mean, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a very good game. I played it multiple times through. Right when I finished one playthrough, I just started it over. It's a fun game. If you like those kind of games, it has a very good storytelling. It has good visuals. It has a really amazing soundtrack, you know. And I hope they're gonna give us either a good prequel, because this one deserves. This one has a meaningful place for a prequel. But also a sequel would make a lot of sense. So we are not done with the overall story here. We just pretty much scratched on the surface only. So every award they get, they deserved it, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean a lot. I hope Ghost of Nobody gets 0 fucking award here. Just being clear. Where did the electricity come from? The power, the computers. I don't fall out of sky. It didn't. No, it did. Maybe. I mean, technically, we have a lot of like dams here in Switzerland. You know, like 90% of all our electricity comes from dams and generators from water, pretty much. And that water comes out of the sky. So fuck you, Tin Rabbit. I just proved you wrong, motherfucker. Right there. Actually, in my region, 100% of our electricity comes from the sky, from water falling down, filling up the dam. Damn right. In the kitchen, making enchilada casserole. Good for you, Mrs. Sarge. It is one of the things Ike will eat and says he likes. Didn't you make it already yester week? Astro Sweat, the thumb has been up, the post has been read, reposted. Now can I settle into some good nerdiness? And if you like game news, yes, I'm all for that. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 p.m. I have the most hardcore game news out there. Just game news. pretty much just game news with occasionally movie news and TV show news. But usually I give you like a lot of game news, not like other shows who claim to be game related, but go on and rating women with nose rings. I can't watch some shows these days anymore. It's weird. Damn wrecked. I wrecked Tin Rabbit very badly. What do you think about Claire Obscure and getting nominated for 12 awards here? 12 awards. They made gaming award history. Let's come to the AI news more, which is just stupid. I so hate this dude now. I didn't know about Shroud, but now I know a little bit more about him, and I can't stand him. I'm going to show you a picture of him again. That's Shroud. One guy who plays a lot of shooter games, and I watched the last 6 months. I just scrubbed through his live feeds, and even his cut down versions, his edited versions. Nothing special. Nothing special. He doesn't seem to be like highly intelligent in that regard, that he picks out topics to talk about it in the games. He is just a regular, maybe better playing dude. But other than that, I think he's very, very gay. I think he loves wieners. So he made some statements, and game journalists go and publish those statements because he seems to be more important than my game news show here. Rumble still refuses to feature me, by the way. The world is just not ready for AI in video games. Shroud accuses the Game Awards of being rigged following Arc Raiders GOTY snub. Oh, his most beloved game right now, the game he loves right now most, was snubbed from the Game Awards of the Game of the Year. Idiot. Shroud has accused the Game Awards of being rigged following its Game of the Year's Arc Raiders snub. The Game Awards confirmed the nomination for 2025 this week, with Sandfall's Claire Obscure Expedition receiving 12 nominations, the most in the awards history. Embark Studio Arc Raiders, meanwhile, has just one nomination in the Best Multiplayer category, alongside Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. I mean, Arc Raiders deserves in the multiplayer one, because many people just love that game. So it deserves rightfully their one nomination in the multiplayer. But you're going to see why I think he's a retard. Like really, why you consider his word with any value, you know? Weird. Ahead of the announcement, Canadian, oh, it's one of you, Archmajunk. He's your buddy right there. Go suck each other off. Make him feel all right again. Canadian Michael Shroud Grzniesiak. What a name. Can't even pronounce it. Who specializes in competitive multiplayer first-person shooters, had called on his fans to vote for Arc Raiders as Game of the Year 2025 over Claire Obscure Expedition 33, saying multiplayer gamers were the minority. Well, if they are the minority, what do you expect? The minority fucking ruling over the majority? Idiot. What a stupid statement in general. What a stupid statement. Well, this stupidity goes further, by the way. Shroud is a former professional Counter-Strike player who has built an enormous online audience of 6.8 million subscribers on YouTube and 11.3 million followers on Twitch. He threw himself into Arc Raiders upon its explosive launch, and in a recent Twitch stream reacted to the Game Awards nomination, revealed to suggest that the game's controversial AI-generated voice work had contributed to it missing out on recognition for the GOTY. GOTY again stands for Game of the Year. Yeah, they snubbed because of the AI-generated voice work. No, maybe. I'm just saying, just maybe, dear Shroud, dear highly intelligent, 300 IQ, high intelligence, super Counter-Strike player there. And he plays always just shooter games. I've seen nothing special. He might be a good player. I'm gonna give him that right away. But I didn't appeal to me at all. So why you are giving out such stupid statements? I just don't get it. And I don't get why people love mediocre fucking entertainment in that sense. The world is just not ready for AI in video games. Not yet, Shroud said. They're just not ready, but hey, at least they nominated it for something. I genuinely thought they wouldn't nominate it for anything because they were scared to get backlash. But at least they nominated it for something, so that's good. Yeah, and in a segment, in a category, well, where it deserves it, kind of, I think. If many people like the game, if the game runs well enough, if the game is fun for many people in multiplayer, it should be nominated there at least, you know? So it makes sense. I have nothing against that. With the end of 2025 in sight, single-player role-playing game Clair Obscur 33 has emerged as a front-runner for GOTY. Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive Donkey Kong Bonanza is also up for GOTY, which Shroud certainly took issue with. Imagine Donkey Kong 2. If Donkey Kong would win, this award show is just chalked. Shroud said, "Who the fuck is playing Donkey Kong Bonanza?" Nobody's playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. Nobody. That is insane. And in this statement in particular, I saw his stupidity, that he actually has not a lot of knowledge, or he's just being here very cynical. I don't know really. It doesn't seem like he can, because to be cynical, I think you need a certain amount of IQ, a certain level, a certain number in the IQ here. To be a good cynical, in my humble retard opinion. I don't think he was cynical. I think he meant that like for real. Who is playing Donkey Kong Bonanza? Like millions and millions of kids. Parents bought the Switch 2 for themselves and their kids. It's gonna sell like hot cake there, you know. And Donkey Kong Bonanza was just the next big thing after Mario Kart for Nintendo, and it's still keep on selling. Who is playing? Millions and millions of kids with their parents. That's who. So I don't think you have a lot of knowledge in gaming, really. You just like your competitive multiplayer stuff, and you probably are really good at it. Otherwise, there's no way you would gather such a big basis, you know. Other than that, I think nobody should listen to you. I think you are a really gay retard, a really stupid human being who either can't transfer his cynical, sarcastic notions here, if you have any. Other than that, fuck off. Just fuck off. Nobody should publish anything from you ever again. Keep your channel audience there with your hundreds and hundreds Ks of views on your, in my opinion, nothing special. It doesn't look like anything special. I could watch Dr. Disrespect, would have probably more entertainment than on your stuff. I just scrubbed through. Zero appeal. Zero appeal. Whoever is watching and having fun with your stuff, fine. Go for it. I don't really care. But I don't think you are that smart that your opinion has any weight in the gaming industry in general. Oi, Godzilla. Just scroll up. Like all that diesel power to mix all that concrete to make those dams, blah, blah, blah. I don't care, man. What are you on about? Who cares about energy consumption? I have to pay for that myself. As soon as I click on Ike's video, I hear gay. And well, that's normal because we see a lot of gay stuff out there. Rumble is gay. I am gay. You are gay. Everything is gay these days. And there are just gays, and there are gays who suck dick. And Shroud seems to be one of them who love to suck AI dick. Because he blames like the AI voice use or voice generating use in Arc Raiders for being snubbed of the GOTY award. What a retard, man. I don't get it. Just everything is gay. Welcome, says Haste to you. I hate every time that happens. Arc is gay. Arc is gay me too, yeah. Everything is gay. Looks douchey. He looks douchey in my opinion too. His name translates as greasy sack. Really? The Shroud is a greasy sack? I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I guess it makes very sense. He likes Trivium, so he is not that intelligent. Well, I don't know. Trivium, is that a game? Was that a game? I don't care too much, really. I just hate that certain individuals out there are just being considered as like intelligent, as having a bigger voice, having a reasonable voice, a logical voice, a meaningful voice out there, you know. And I see that happening all the time, even on Rumble, on a fucking daily basis. Many people just love slop. Love fucking very, very mediocre shit. I mean, like, actually below mediocre stuff, as long as they think they can take a little bit of that fake fame out of the whole chat, for example. It's weird, but yes. IQ 33. I mean, he must have a higher IQ, otherwise you couldn't speak, really. I think the speak IQ is between 50 and 60, just to make like kind of full sentence phrases there, you know. Arc, according to Godzilla, means anal reach around cancer. Okay. I mean, I don't care for Arc. It's fine. It's an online game. Trivium is a band, not a bad, in my opinion. Well, maybe you are gay too, because according to Haste, Trivium is very gay. How big is that? But yes, that is Shroud for you in the very recent accusations of the very gay game awards. There, I don't know who cares for it all, but he feels like betrayed of some sort, and making like really stupid statements, like who plays Donkey Kong? Well, more than play Arc Raiders, that's for sure. Who? Kids who have probably higher IQ than you, buddy. No, they are not gay. Well, fight on with you and Haste, Godzilla. Let's stay on Arc Raiders though. Arc Raiders devs and developers lost game shutting down on one platform. And developer Embark Studios is currently riding high on success of Arc Raiders, and the studio has now announced that its last game, the 2023's The Finals, is shutting down on a specific platform. So Embark Studios, I think, makes pretty much just one game at a time and being hyped one game at a time. So they're probably going to shut it down very soon on other platforms too, their last games, because it's not going to be played much more as long as Arc Raiders is out there for kind of the same price, kind of the same appeal to multiplayer gaming. Why should they waste like resources, server performance, server resources for their old game that nobody really wants to play anymore? So yeah, hype is going away from the finals. Now it's on the Arc Raiders. The finals will close on PS4 when Season 10 starts on March 18, 2026. This is being done so Embark can focus on current generation hardware, the studio said. and anyone who wants to keep playing on PS4 will have to migrate to a different, newer console platform or PC. And probably, I just assume here, I have zero evidence, zero indication, probably towards the end of 2026, they're going to shut down more and more, and probably just going to keep it only on PC at the end of 2026, the finals, the game. You know, I don't think they want to waste more resources and manpower to maintain the game much longer, really. Because a game that is not being played, that is not being bought anymore, there's no need and no logical sense behind it, just wasting manpower on old generations, old platforms in that regard, right? So we're going to see how that goes. But UrhG is very successful. They're shutting down the first platform already from the old game. 2026 in March, PS4, no more support. The final shutdown. Kind of. Now this AI stuff is being in talks all the time. It's not going to go away, and we have to keep talking because they are keeping talking about it. And with they, I mean the game journalists, the platforms and all that. And the game company just using it and being in discussion, having controversies about that, you know, with players, with publishers, with other publishers, with developers and all that. It's a back and forth all the time. But supposedly Gen Z loves AI slop, former Square Enix executive claims. A lot of AI sentiments is driven by emotion rather than logic. The CEO of Genvid, the company behind Choose Your Own Adventure interactive series like Silent Hill Ascension, has claimed consumers generally do not care about generative AI in games, stating Gen Z or Z loves AI slop. I'm not sure. It is a little bit contradictory here again, because supposedly Gen Z is way more based than the older generations in general, like politically, like how they view family values and all that. Gen Z supposedly is based again. I heard at least those statements. And now they are not caring for AI slop and just love it. Like, you don't care for artistic like value, like making a game work fine, making a game look fine, and not just having some six-fingered creatures on display and all that. I'm not so sure about that statement. Just to say. Jacob Novak, former Square Enix director, evidenced his claim by reminding us that the biggest game of the year, Steel a Brainrot, had 30 million concurrent, approximately 80 times the UrhG greatest concurrence, and is named after based on AI slop characters. I'm really not sure if you can base that statement and take that as evidence in general. The game Brainrot from Roblox, it's literally Brainrot. I mean, the name of the game is chosen very honestly, in my opinion. I wanted to find out what's this about, this game. So I logged in. I made an account for Roblox. Luckily, I was not included in this verification crap, which we come to it in a second here in the next article. So I just logged in, downloaded this particular game from Roblox, and what you're gonna get in this game is you're having just a conveyor belt, and you're having creatures coming along this conveyor belt with a certain value. You can steal that Brainrot creature, which is named weirdly. It has some AI-generated voice telling the name of that creature. You can put it in your base, which you have certain slots for it. I think 8 was it, or 6 slots for it. And you can close the base so nobody can steal your Brainrot. That's the whole game. Just collecting those valued creatures. And as long as you have those in your base, it's going to generate some coins. But that's it, man. I'm telling you, that's the whole game. You're just going to watch the coin value go up. You can be just logged in, and as long as nobody steals all your creatures, you're going to get coins. And with those coins, you can buy other creatures on the conveyor belt that are more valued. That's the whole game. I don't think there's any value behind that kind of game, really. It's absolutely brain rot. So whoever made that game knew what they are producing and named it after that crap. It's absolute brain rot. Just because you have 30 million players locked in a very specific time frame doesn't mean it's really successful. It just means people, for some reason, loved or like this lurking style of game, stealing the brain. I mean, you can buy Roblox coins to convert it into the game currency. You can do that too. So you need to pay attention how many people buy the currency, the premium currency, with real money. You know, that's how you measure probably the success. Just being 30 million concurrent logged in accounts doesn't mean shit. Also, Roblox doesn't have to disclose if those numbers are real or if they are like 29.9 million bots. Because I'm assuming you can very easily program bots to do those most simple tasks for this one game. So that's not evidence, in my opinion. For all the anti-AI sentiments we are seeing in various articles, it appears consumers generally do not care. No, I think consumers actually care for some kind of quality in games, you know? Because you could put maybe like a price on Steal a Brain Rot, even if it's only $2, you would see like many bots just can't buy the game by itself immediately. So you're probably going to see instant cutoff if you put a price tag on the game before you don't pay it. You can't log into that game. You're probably going to see at least 80%, even if they are real people, just say like, I'm not going to pay $2 to log into this game. No way. So that's how you would measure it more logically, more sensible. That's how I got the trouble with Eve. Buy a bunch of monthly subcards, convert to ISK, buy ships to lose, repeat. Yeah, but why would you be in trouble? That's like just the game mechanics, the ecosystem, how it's being like paid off for service and all that, buying monthly subs. Don't let Ike hurt your feelings about bots. He will not talk to you back, don't worry. Bots are there to help us, not the other way around. So I think people actually care for a little bit, at least, for some sort of quality. Maybe in the gameplay, maybe at least in the story, maybe at least in the fucking visuals, whatever it may be. But people will care a little bit about if there is too much AI or not. All the brain rots are just 3D models of AI slop. Gen Z loves AI slop, does not care. The upcoming generation of gamers are Bane in Dark Knight Rises, saying, "You merely adopted the slop. I was born in it." Or maybe I need a mask for that. I think I did it okay. Arc Raiders has enjoyed a huge popularity and big sales despite an online controversy around its use of generative AI to generate character voice. Streamer Shroud, yeah, I just talked about that, so And this article pretty much just goes all over the place here about people supposedly don't care. Especially Gen Z loves AI slop. I need to see like more evidence for that claim. I really do need more indications, more numbers, more real numbers. If we ever gonna get the real numbers. Square Enix just laid off a lot of people in the US and UK. I reported on that too. It was last week. And they are gonna be focusing on more AI stuff. And let's see how that goes, Square Enix. Let's see how people are gonna pay you for your AI slop, if that's really the case. That the newer generations just don't care and actually love AI slop. I don't think that's the case. I really don't think that's the case. Because anytime a game shows you AI slop, meaning generated images in loading screens, game is just instantly going to point that out and shred you to pieces on X, showing like pictures, just single frames of certain games, and the internet is going to be all over your ass and blaming you to eternity for your AI slop. So yeah. But let's stick to Roblox for a second or two, because Roblox is not being well received by real people, normal people who don't like pedophilia. Surprise! The majority of humanity is not into pedophilia, Roblox Corporation. But now they need to do something. So they are rolling out the age checks using facial age estimation technology, AI again, to see who is how old. Let's see how well that goes in the future, right? Roblox has started rolling out voluntary age checks on its platform, which will become mandatory globally early next year to limit communication between minors and adults. Age verification will be conducted through the Roblox app using facial age estimation technology processed by Persona. I don't want to go into this Persona company, but or technology, whatever that actually is. I think we're going to hear more about this in the near future when it's going to be abused in some capacity. Roblox has said any images or video will be deleted immediately after processing. Oh yeah, I'm totally going to believe that part. It's going to be deleted immediately. Not if the legislature, the lawyers and the government tells you, yeah, you need to keep that data. Especially with the next part here on the TAGN, on the Angry Game News. Because the EU has plans about collecting data and protecting your data. That's just by the way. While age checks are currently optional on the platform, users will not be able to access certain features, including chats, unless an age check is completed. And you have here the tiers of the age checks. You have under 9, 9 to 12, 13 to 15, 16 to 17, 18 to 20, and 21 plus. And I don't know how well this Persona will work, you know. I think it might estimate your age every second time. People are going to be estimated wrongly. Especially how you really going to estimate if somebody is 12 or 13, if a minor is 12 or 13, and then again 17 or 18. I think your claims here that your AI will do that spot on are very bold claims in my opinion here. And because they're gonna probably do wrong estimates, you're just gonna provide them with your driver license, your regular ID, state ID, or maybe, who knows, the upcoming real ID, online digital ID stuff, even in the US. Reminder, COSA and Screen Act. Never forget that. Once sorted into one of these groups, users will be able to chat with those in their own age group and similar age groups as appropriate. And maybe other people, maybe pedophiles, will be able to use AI to manipulate their appearance or generate completely fake video feeds to fake it for the AI, you know? And then we're going to see which AI is better, the generative AI or the estimating AI. Who knows? Who knows? During the first week of December, age verification will become mandatory in Australia, New Zealand, and the Netherlands. This will then be expanded globally to other markets in early January next year. So Roblox is trying to do good on the surface though only. How about doing some sort of like logical censoring? Meaning maybe you don't need, just maybe you don't need 50 versions of public bathhouse or public restroom simulators out there. Maybe you don't just need so much degenerated fucking shit. But on the other hand, I'm being proven once more wrong, because people seem to be very much into absolute degenerate crap. Rumble proves me wrong that people love that shit actually on a daily basis. Otherwise, I don't see why my newscast that brings you information like real stuff into your ears and to your eyes instead of others that are very whatever gameplays, the same gameplays every day. Weird. Toilet paper, dog shit. But yes, how about you filter out all those crap games, all those degenerated shit? Again, Fortnite seemed to do pretty well. They don't have those issues with pedophiles, you know, just by not allowing certain crap to be published. Yes, I know. I'm a very freedom of speech guy. But when it comes like to degenerate shit, like very close to pedophilia, which all that shit on Roblox is it's the main reason why they need to do all this nonsense from December on, you know, mandatory age verification. Then freedom of speech goes maybe a little bit like for a private entity, a little bit too far to allowing certain stuff to be published and to the broader audience. How about being a little bit more decent? Just the morality being a little bit more toned higher in that sense, you know, the morality itself, not allowing certain degenerate shit. I'm just saying. But you're free to do what you want, but don't expect me from me to take you seriously and respect your degeneracy. Just saying. A lot of fucked up people out there. Roblox in particular, yes. I mean, I created that account to check out brain rot, like I said. Well, but I checked out also if that's true what they told us with the public restroom simulators. And yes, it was actually, I checked it 3-4 months ago. It was really that bad, man. Really, it was that horrible, and I wouldn't miss Roblox. If it just disappears tomorrow, I wouldn't care. I would be probably a little bit more happy, because children not being manipulated, that's to show that that's not normal. That's just not normal what Roblox is really doing. But speaking of your data protection and deleting instantly, that might not happen instantly in the future. Because the EU has other plans for the EU published products, digital products. The new EU rules on cybersecurity, what game developers and publishers need to know. So they always phrase it with certain words that it's for security, it's for your safety. We need to protect you from yourself. So it's the other side of the stupidity, you know. The evolving threat landscape. Fair play has always been at the heart of gaming, but maintaining it as an ongoing battle. Cheating tools not only disrupt the competitive balance, but can also land companies in legal troubles. Studios are in a constant race to detect and prevent these threats, striving to protect both the integrity of their games and the trust of their communities. So now even the lawmakers have to be involved in protecting you from cheaters. Sure. But the risks go far beyond gameplay. The rise of in-game currencies and digital items has created new opportunities for malicious actors. Exploiting bugs or vulnerabilities, hackers can duplicate or steal valuable assets, destabilizing virtual economies and damaging reputations. These incidents can have serious legal consequences. Maybe it's all because of you, Haste. You buying up those monthly subscriptions. It was all your fault. Everybody blame Haste. Everybody blame Haste. I mean, he did nothing illegal. He just bought regular monthly subscriptions. But yes, still blame him. It was his doing at the beginning. But yes, I also don't like microtransactions because that's like the ecosystem these days in those multiplayer games. I wouldn't miss if just those companies says like, look, how about we get just monthly subscriptions, tune it down with those microtransactions, because I think microtransactions are actually cancer. I would love to see companies seeing it this way too, but it's way too profitable for them, mainly in the mobile sector. Buy those premium coins to level up your puffity puff creature, whatever that might be. Buy those crystals. Buy them crystals. Chase the white dragon, man. Chase the white dragon. One has no right to force their delusion on another. You're a transphobe. Astrosrat is a transphobe. Yeah, how dare you being against decency, indecency? How dare you, Astrosrat? Where was it? Yeah, microtransaction are cancer. Maybe that should go away somehow. That's how you really would protect stuff from being exploited, you know? In my humble opinion, just saying that would be easier for everybody. Make something on a monthly subscriptions, maybe different tiers of monthly subscriptions, like get rid of every ad for, I don't know, 2 months, $2 or $1 a month, you know, just to get rid of the ads itself. The next tier would give you like the first premium in-game currency, or just giving you like advantages in some regard. There are ways to do certain stuff, you know, without including microtransaction. But for certain companies, that would not work because a lot of money would be like missing. South Park has a great episode on that, and we can blame all the Canadians on that, at least in South Park. The Canadians are exploiting the the minds of people with microtransactions. Which is wild, but they are not telling anything wrong. Maybe like the nations not being involved are the correct ones. But yeah, the mechanics works exactly like South Park tells us, or told us in the past. The new legislative landscape. Against this backdrop, the EU is raising the bar for cybersecurity with 2 major legislative updates: the NIS2 directive and the Cyber Resilience Act, CRA. Both are set to have a significant impact on game developers and publishers operating in or selling to the EU. Although game companies must already take into account the requirements under the GDPR, which is just a data protecting thing in the EU, like also for data transaction, if a company is like related to the US, the US has to apply to those rules too. Otherwise, you're not going to get any data of those US companies either, etc. They're trying to pretend like your data is in your hands. But that's the GDPR is one major thing that was the reason why you got all those cookies and you have to allow those cookies or disallow. So something good, I guess, for the end consumer to have a little bit more oversight what website is using of your data. Is it storing your IP? Is it storing your location? All that stuff. And according to those rules, you have some kind of control over your own data, supposedly, but who knows, right? GDPR to implement appropriate technical and organizational measure in respect of protecting personal data. These new legislative frameworks add a new level of more prospective measures. If NIS 2 does apply, the expectations are clear. In-scope companies must register up-to-date information about their operations and where they offer services with competent authorities. Cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue. Senior management is ultimately responsible for overseeing and approving security measures, and boards must be trained to address cyber risks. This responsibility cannot be outsourced, and breaches may result in management liability, fines, or even temporary bans from management roles. So what that means, just in general, like an overall sentence, like those companies have to have management being educated according to those new rules on cyber risk stuff. And usually those management guys are not developers. They are just on the front end of stuff. They are spokespersons in general. They make decisions, yes, but usually they don't know really about cybersecurity stuff. So they need to educate themselves according to those new rules. And the easiest way for them to do that is just doing some courses once a month, maybe some cybersecurity course, doing Windows updates on their systems, stuff like that. And to be like in compliance with all those rules, with like how their data is being stored and all that, they're just going to do like encryption stuff, trying to pretend like they know what they're doing, you know. And they're going to collect more data. Because you can have only oversight of certain issues if you have like the data in front of you. And that's why they have to collect new data in the future. You're just going to see how that's going to play out. Otherwise, they don't know who is who, right? So they need to collect data and make accounts and transfer data. But don't worry, everything is encrypted. Don't worry. On the technical side, companies are expected to implement comprehensive measures to manage risks. This includes everything from risk analysis and incident handling to business continuity planning and supply chain security, as well as regular cybersecurity training. Encryption, access controls, and multi-factor authentication are all part of the new baseline. And because they are gonna like use user data, the user has to have access to their personal data. So they are gonna demand also multi-factor authentication over your data. And because they don't know you yet really, but they have to protect you from yourself, right? they're going to need some ID in the future that you are really you. So the multi-factor authentication is going to apply to the users, the end users themselves, overall in general too. Don't let them fool you. It's going to be a fucking gigantic mess for everybody. And the main reason for all that is not cybersecurity. They don't care if you're going to get hacked. Really, they don't give a flying rat's ass at all. They want all your data, and they want correct data. So you're going to need some online authentication on your part too. Otherwise, they're not knowing which data they are protecting, right? They need to address all those little data packs to each individual. So it's not only in the company, it's going to be like interconnected to everybody with everything. And multi-factor authentication are all part of the new baseline. When incidents do occur, companies must act fast. Significant breaches require an early warning within 24 hours and a full notification within 72 hours. So if they are going to get being hacked themselves, they just need to address it to the users. And because they need to know which user is which, they at least need some phone number or some email account to your data, you know? So they need to interconnect everything. Otherwise, how can they protect you in particular? There's also an expectation of voluntary cooperation in sharing information about threats and vulnerabilities. So the companies are going to be more secure if they tell the government how insecure they are, where the backdoors are, where the exploitation points are, where they didn't fix it yet and all that. They need to tell the government, because the government is the good part here, as usual, right? They are never going to abuse your data. Don't you worry. The government is here to help you. The CRA, which came into force in December 2024 with a 3-year transition period, sets uniform cybersecurity standards for products with digital elements, which everything in the internet is. Every fucking product in the internet is digital. So they just included like everything, pretty much everything. Without internet, actually in today's time, nothing, literally nothing operates offline. Power grids, food, transportation, everything has digital elements. So just make a generalization here and you're going to have control over everything. Security must now be integrated from the design phase and maintained throughout the product's life cycle. Regular vulnerability testing and timely updates are mandatory, and any identified security vulnerabilities must be reported to the European Agency for Cybersecurity, ENISA. Good name there. Especially if they are actively exploited. Well, if you don't know that a breach happened yet, how can you know that you're being actively exploited? Stupidity circle here. Non-compliance can lead to substantial fines and administrative sanctions, raising the stakes for companies operating in the EU. And because all those management people will not be like liable for all that shit, they're going to do everything the EU is going to ask from them. Everything, literally. They're going to just throw out all the data, your data, encrypt it, but tell the EU agency, ENISA, just, yeah, here is an account for you, an oversight account to check if I'm doing it right or not. I'm going to comply completely. I'm not going to get fined just because I work in management in this company. They're going to just comply with everything, literally everything. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess, totally mess. Mighty Megatron is here. He says something. Before we come to that. Been playing World of Warship for 10 years now. Never spent a single nickel. Coiners keep the game going for cheap pricks like me. Hey, you're a parasite. You're a World of Warship parasite. How you like that, dear Sarge? Being called out. Parasite of World of Warship. 10 years of parasite being there. Holy crap. Anal, lol. It is the word anal is in analyst. What can I say? I'm not inventing words. It's in the word. That's why I don't use Facebook. That's good. I've been lurking a while testing out some games I picked up recently. Like which games? Big Brother means a friendly Big Brother with who hugs you. No, they're gonna tell you raping is gonna be hugging in the future. While they stretch out your asshole in particular haste because you were responsible by buying those monthly subscriptions. You messing up the gameplay for everybody. So they're gonna stretch your asshole first. They're gonna tell you the stretching of your asshole is love. Double speak. Not so, my Swiss homo friend. There are still switched phone calls. What do you mean switched phone calls? Which company was it yesteryear at the or end of the yesteryear? I think AT&T might be the last company that turned off like the analog stuff. Nothing is analog these days, really. Maybe from the provider to you, you know. Maybe if there's an old copper line, maybe that's considered like analog. But usually even that is not going to happen these days at all. So everything is digital. If you turn off the digital part, the internet, everything is going to go to shit. Go look it up. Nothing is working offline, really. I hope everyone is having a great day. Without asshole stretching like Haste is going to get from the EU. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a good day. You'll have to watch my video game pickups and find videos to find out. You're going to make fucking advertisement for your channel here? How dare you, Big Zet? You buying all the those body pillows. Oh shit, I gotta run. The phone network is insecure. Oh yeah, I mean, everything that has access to it is in some way, shape or form insecure by default. Because you're gonna have some kind of access to it. Otherwise, it's gonna be cut off. But you're right, all the internet stuff is being replaced with digital. Everything. Incident reporting process need to be watertight. Make sure you can detect breaches quickly and meet the tight reporting deadlines set by NIS2. For companies developing products with digital elements, all of them in the internet, start integrating security from the outset. Yeah, let's see how that's gonna go. Shaping business strategy. Cybersecurity is no longer a back office concern. It's a business imperative. The question is no longer whether a company will face a cyber attack, but when. Proactive measures not only ensure legal compliance, but also protect your reputation and build consumer trust. Not in my eyes. Not in my eyes. If a company is going to demand from me IDs, like governmental issued IDs, I'm just not going to work with you anymore. I don't care. It's going to be probably a problematic time or whatever. Maybe it's a company I worked with for years or decades online, you know. But if I'm not up for that stuff, for my entertainment, for example, if Netflix or Amazon Prime demands an ID, you know, fuck that shit. Well, you lost me as a customer. So you need to be a little bit more aware of certain issues we have. So I'm not going to trust any company that demands for security, for my security, my ID, and being a glass person to them to see through me in every regard, everything from my life. No, fuck that. Just have a little bit self-respect. Don't be tuned into just entertainment mindset. Like, have a little bit of self-respect in that regard. Regulators are increasingly holding boards and senior management personally responsible for cybersecurity. This shift means that security cannot be delegated or treated as a purely technical issue. But it is a purely technical issue because it is purely technical by its very nature in online stuff. Everything digital is a technical issue. So it is. You're giving a lot like bad signals here. Contradictory signals. Companies that invest in robust cybersecurity and compliance can set themselves apart in a crowded market, reassuring partners and players alike. Oh yeah, we have encrypted everything, don't worry. And we have told the government that we are having zero issues for now, no breaches detected. We are cool players. We're a good company. Please get into a partnership with us. We are a compliant, good boy company. The EU's new rules mark a turn-up point for the games industry. Developers and publishers who act now to understand their obligations, upgrade their security posture, and embed compliance into their business strategy will be best placed to navigate the evolving threat landscape and regulatory environment. Yeah, I mean, because they are going to be so compliant with the government, they're going to have an access point, an API to the government in some regard. So the government have access to all your data all the time. And because the company needs to know who you are, otherwise, how can they protect your stuff? Yeah, right? They need to know which data belongs to whom. When the government then gets hacked, well, it just happens. It's not a matter when, and it's not a matter if, it's a matter when, right? Just like you told us in this article here. Just like biggest, most recent example is the ID stuff from India. Over billions identifications have been leaked, have been hacked from the government. I think the overall platform was called Atara or something, if I remember correctly. It was hacked, and you can buy all those IDs on the dark web. So much for the security, and the government is going to protect your ID. And because they have now this breach still going on and just being abused, all that, they somehow need to fix all that with a new system. Sooner or later, all the Indians need to go back to the government and give even more data to the government. Not only the fingerprints, no, this time it's going to be DNA testing, going to be iris scans. It's just going to be more to make it more secure, to make the ID connected more to your biometrics. Just watch what it's going to happen. They are just all full of shit. The governments are full of shit as usual. All the governments, doesn't matter if it's the UK government, the EU governments, Swiss governments, US governments, India governments, Chinese governments, all them governments are assholes in general. No exemptions. There are no exemptions. The older I get, the more evidently it becomes to me, at least. I roll my eyes like when the medical doctors lecture me about security. I mean, doctors usually are kind of smart, And some doctors are really good doctors, and they care for their patients' data. So they're gonna build their own stuff. They know usually also, if they are good doctors and smart doctors, how to actually program and develop their own apps too. But yeah, I mean, the majority is not super smart like that, unfortunately. Or suits trying to explain something they can't. Yeah, that's what I said. Management is just going to comply with everything the EU demands from them. Just going to comply with every little piece of the legislation here. Collect as much data, as much IDs and all that, and just hand it out to the government, because they're not going to get fined. They are not going to allow the government to fine them because they complied. We are sorry, here, free 1 year credit reporting. I think that the Indian citizens got like nothing in return for the data breach. Absolutely nothing. Let's go back for a short period of time to the Game Awards. Megabank just withdrew itself from the Game Awards. One of the Game Awards nominees, the PC smash hit Megabank, is not going to be part of the Game Awards show after receiving a nomination this week for Best Debut Indie Game. The Game Award, the game's developer said on social media that they are withdrawing from the Game Awards because Megabank is not actually his first game. So just being very honest here, I absolutely love that. Megabank, I would say like a 2-week, maybe a 3-week hit. Still a lot of people kind of play it. We have like on a 24-hour peak base here, roughly 23k players, concurrent players, according to the Steam chart here. But the peak is over. The peak is over. It was like maybe 3 weeks in total, 2 weeks for sure, but maybe 3 weeks you can consider. And since then, it's going downwards because it's a game that you can enjoy maybe for 5 to 10 hours. After that, you actually have seen what you can achieve, and it's gonna be like what was it, Vampire Survivors, a roguelike game that it's fun for a very, very short period of time. After that, you don't care for it anymore. $10 it costs roughly on average. So are you gonna spend $10 for 10 hours of fun? I mean, it's fun and it's very well received, but just not gonna keep you like entertained for a longer period of time. And you're gonna see like just it's going down and down since its release. And I say in one month it's probably gonna be halved, this number of the peak 24-hour to maybe 10k. In half a year, probably you're gonna have like the hardcore players, like maybe 2,000 concurrent 24 hours players, maybe. But it was very well received. It got a nomination. The developer said like, it's actually not my first game, so please take me out. I respect that. I absolutely respect that. Good on that guy. What was his name? It doesn't matter. He's a good guy. You can see in the article his name. That sucks. Not a terrible return on $10. I don't know. Like $1 per hour. If that's the case, if you're gonna get for 1 hour entertainment $1, I should be paid that $1 per hour by each and everyone who is watching me right now. That would be a nice side income for certain stuff. Just saying. Like I said, I enjoyed it for a very short period of time, but I've seen what I can achieve and what I want, you know. After that, I was done with it. Oi, Pico, John Megabunk is his name. John Megabunk. I don't think Megabonk is a name, but yes. This is why RPGs are a great investment. Yeah, certain RPGs, not all of them. Certain RPGs are a good value for their money. Depends. Like you can have, you can take a lot of value out of certain games for yourself. I just don't think it is $10 worth really. $5 might be more like it. That's what I paid for my last roguelike game was $5, and it was the game called Halls of, oh shit, I forgot the name. I occasionally once a week I started up for one level, which is like 30 minutes. What was the name? Halls of Torment. It's an isometric view. Looks like Diablo, but it's also a roguelike game. You just select experience and upgrade your weapons. It's just fun. But it's not worth for me more than $5. Despite since I bought it 1.5 years ago, maybe. I played maybe once every week for half an hour. But it's not worth more than $5 to me. Depends on the RPG. Just, like I said, yes, you're agreeing with me. $60 a game, $60 game, but you get around 60 to 100 hours of fun. Roguelike is my favorite genre. Shin Megami Tensei 5, 100 hours. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, 100 hours. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, 150 hours. None of those games are interesting for me, so I wouldn't waste any money on that. But I got, for example, The Witcher. I pre-ordered The Witcher back in the days. And I played maybe The Witcher 3, like, I don't know, 500 to 600 hours. So I got my value out of it. So it depends on the player and on the game, on the genres and all that. And depends on if you get like extras with the purchase, right? Crazy in the Sky, first chapter, 77 hours. OG or Vengeance, middle of the SMT5. OG didn't click for me. Vengeance is great. Witcher 3 was over 40 hours. Great game. Yeah, I'm still mad that Vengeance is literally the good version of SMTV. Let's talk about kids. Gamer kids. Calm your tits there. Nearly half of US kids want in-game currency this Christmas. I think those kids are retarded. But there's a little silver lining here. Because most of those kids want that in-game stuff because of their parents. They want to play with their parents. Almost 3 in 5 children in the US are planning to ask for game-related products for this Christmas, with 43% asking for in-game currency. That's according to a new report conducted by the Entertainment Software Association, ESA, which found that video games are in the top 3 items for kids this holiday season. Dear Sarge is giving $2 and he says, for those $2, here's for 2 hours of entertainment. Dear Sarge is at least listening. Those other guys might listening, might enjoy the entertainment, might enjoy my rants, but they are cheap as fuck. Thank you a lot, dear Sarge. 2 hours? Oh, I'm going for 2 hours. Well, it's because I'm checking the chat, and the chat is alive today. Alive enough. More than on Monday, just saying. Where was I? Which found that video games are in the top 3 items for kids this holiday season. Of the over 700 children surveyed, not a lot of surveyed people here. The other survey got like 34,000, so a little bigger number. It's just better for the average. Get more data, more reliable data. Ages 5 to 17, 39% are after a video game console, while 37% want physical games. Another 2 hours, says Haste Zealot for $2. I'm going just as long as the chat keeps it alive. I'm going to my last 4 articles here. So if you're gonna get involved yourself in the talking points, it can go at another 2 hours. I don't mind. Physical games. More than half of US kids want to play more games with their parents, particularly children aged between 5 to 7. I think that is not very surprising that children 5 to 7 want to play with their parents, want to bond with their parents, which they bonded prior to those first 5 years in their life, bond more if the parents are decent parents, right? So not a big surprise there. It's more concerning that like 27% don't want that. Kind of concerning. Maybe the rest want to bond with other children more than their parents. The ESA also surveyed over 1,100 adults aged 18 to 65, including 539 who are parents of those aged between 5 to 17. 1/3 of US adults plan on purchase game-related items this Christmas. Most will be buying a gift for someone else, with 35% gifting their children and 28% purchasing something for their spouse or significant other. Well, dear Sarge, are you buying Mrs. Sarge any games this Christmas? Huh? Are you included in those 28%? Let's see how much he loves his wife. Or the other way around. Mrs. Sarge, are you buying Dear Sarge maybe a ship? Yeah, maybe buy Dear Sarge some coins in World of Warship to show him that you love him truly and dearly. According to the ESA, the average adult intends to spend $500 on game-related gifts, with 1 in 4 spending less than $100. As for parents, the average amount they intend to spend on their children is $737. Very particular number here, but yeah. Though approximately half will spend less than $300. I mean, 300 is 300. It's still kind of a high number just to spend it on video game related stuff for your children. This Christmas alone. Maybe they consider like the birthday as a bigger opportunity for more money spending. I don't know. Video games are one of the most popular forms of entertainment in the world today, with more than 205 million Americans, maybe also illegals, according to some people in the US. Those are not worth anything. 205 million Americans powering up games every week to have fun, relax, and connect with friends and family, said ESA President and CEO Stan Pierre-Louis. That's a big number. That's a big-ass number. I don't care if they're including like illegals or not documented people. Big number. Just being in that boundary of country there, in that nation. Our research this year shows that kids not only want games, they also want quality time with their families. In a world where people feel increasingly disconnected, playing video games remains one of the easiest and most fun ways to stay close to the people we love. That's why nobody is playing with me. Damn, nobody loves me. Where was I? All the money I save on warships, I can't rent with instead. Bond James. I hope Ike appreciates that you dug into Body Pillow Fund to show him support. Body pillows are not cheap, dear Sarge. I looked up. On average, they cost like $100 and upwards. So a good kind of quality body pillow. Crazy. Because they are going to get a lot of rubbing on them, you know? especially Haste, rubbing on the Biden body pillow, melting his ice cream there. He tries to melt it, maybe. I don't know. I'm reminded of that episode of The Simpsons where Homer got Marge a bowling ball, but she didn't bowl and he did. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna happen probably a lot too. Like, just parents pretend they're buying stuff for their children, but actually they wanted that one particular game for themselves. Or if you buy a Switch 2, yeah, I bought it for my kid, but my kid actually hates Mario, but I still bought the console with Mario Kart World there. Yeah, that's probably gonna happen quite a few times. You probably didn't expect to see me here. Epic and Unity announce unique partnership. Should I go? Let's not go too deep into this, actually. I don't care too much. But they are going to connect together. Epic Games, which has this Epic Store, this Unreal Engine thing going on, and they are going to be selling that. You can use the engine freely. You can program game freely with it. You have full access to it. But at a certain point, depending on how much you sell your game, how much money you make, you need to give a certain percentage to Epic Games. And they have like the platform, like I said, pretty much just a regular store, and you can have support for Unreal Engine, depending if you get like buy the support, which you can do additionally to giving a certain percentage of your profits. And Unity is doing kind of similar stuff, just with different engine, with their Unity engine, which is mainly for online games, mainly for mobile and web browser games tuned, and it runs just better. You know, you can run a lot of games just in your browser. That's the main goal of Unity. Program your game to be able to run in every browser if possible. So kind of very lightweight and all that. Now they are just partnering up. Epic gives access to the Epic's system, to the Unreal Engine, to integrate in the store the Unity tools, the Unity merge, the Unity games and all that, you know, very much easier. And the same way goes to Unity, meaning Unity is gonna offer Epic Games their platform, the Unity platform, to produce Fortnite games into kind of the Unity store and all that. So it's gonna be a big partnership, and let's see how well this is gonna go though in the future, and who's gonna profit more. And because they're going the same approach like Microsoft is doing with the Xbox platform, just hoping to get bigger reach, bigger exposure of their products. But I think some company is going to profit more of the other. And maybe it's going to be bad blood in the future. Hard to say. But they just announced the partnership here, and they are very hyped, because that's how it goes in the future. We need to interconnect more, because that's how the players want it to be. More interconnected, more partnerships, because competitors actually better for the players. In theory, yes. But I don't trust any of those fuckers. They're just trying to manipulate the gamers in general. Mobile gamers, lol. Unity was going to charge developers on each install. Needless to say, they reserved course. Yeah, because you're not gonna get like browser games just because of every install. People paying for browser games. Of course, it was destined to fail in that regard. Yeah, but still, Unity is like a good platform in my opinion, because you have very decent games who run very smoothly, even on lightweight computers. like low-end CPUs and all that, as long as it can run pretty much videos and has some sort of GPU included in your system, it will be able to run Unity games pretty smoothly. As long as it's not high-end texture gaming going on, or 3D texture-filled games. Unity is very good in that regard, in my opinion. But yes, they are partnering up. Two major players, actually, you know. Unreal Engine is used by every second games these days. It's insane. And we have a lot of online mobile gaming going on, which use Unity mainly. We have also the other engines, but they are not used as much, like Godot and or whatever it was called. So let's see how this partnership is going to benefit us players in the future. Maybe cheaper games, maybe better games, maybe even better performing games. Could all happen. Who knows? Big props to the devs that patched their Unity games post vulnerability. I don't know about that issue, but yes, if you say big props to them, yes. You know who I'm not gonna give any props and any fucking salutes to Marathon stuff and staff. Bungie in particular. This is not AI. Oscar-winning marathon cinematic short director hits back at online accusations. Oscar-winning animator and director Alberto Mielgo has hit back at the accusation his cinematic short of Bungie's marathon is AI-generated, insisting the production is not AI and was in fact the result of 155 incredible people and hell of hours, days, and months of time. Mielgo, who won an Oscar for his animated short The Windshield Wiper in 2021 and has created 2 short features for Netflix, Love, Death, and Robots, served as director on Marathon's 8-minute-long reveal cinematic. I didn't watch like the whole thing because how it looks. It looks lame. It looks boring. Like animation-wise, it looks fine. Animation-wise, it looks very real life. Texture-wise, like high detailed and all that, you know. Quality-wise, just picture quality-wise, very high picture quality too. But man, design-wise, dog shit still. I have to remind everybody, Marathon put out a little teaser trailer that is now 8 months ago, a little bit less, maybe 7 months ago. And they stole and they told everybody like, oh, we didn't know it was not paid for and we just took it and yeah, sorry, we did some copyright infringement, everybody. That was not our intent. It looked boring there already. It was not very cinematic, but they showed like how the game might look in the future. And it's going to be an extraction third party or first person. I think you actually can switch between the first and third party view. But with androids. The visuals, the weapons look all boring. The terrain, the environment looks very boring, very generic. And all those androids look very generic. Zero fucking soul, if you can use that word, if you want to use that word. Zero fucking character, zero fucking emotions put into, like, just the gameplay itself. It has to be a little bit attachment to the players. And I don't feel jack shit. I could feel a little bit with Arc Raiders because you have like kind of like real humans there in a post-apocalyptic world with robots and all that. But Marathon, it's all about androids fighting each other. And I watched this a lot of this 8-minute stuff, I skipped through though and watched like 5 seconds here, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, sort of like that, just to get the impression. Everything looks boring. Just telling me like 155 people worked on it for a hell of hours, days, even months of time putting into this 8.5 minute trailer. I think you wasted a lot of fucking time and brain power and talent probably just to show you, the players, how boring Marathon is gonna be, man. I think this game is just gonna tank. It's gonna fucking, it's gonna flop so hard, in my opinion. I think it's not gonna replace anything, really. I think nobody is gonna care for it at all. You tried to captivate people with this 8-minute trailer, but I think you just wasted resources. Plenty of resources. Instead of going against accusation that it's not AI, and it doesn't look AI generated. I'm going to be honest, whatever I saw in this trailer, it doesn't look AI generated, but it looks just boring. Design-wise, gameplay-wise, it looks everything boring to me. I mean, if you're going to buy it because it's Bungie in the future and because it's a new version of Marathon. Marathon was on the Apple OS back in the days, almost 3 decades plus ago. Their first game, I think it was. They're just gonna revive this franchise, but I think it's not gonna live for long. Oi, Luigi. So if you're gonna buy it and enjoy it, fine. That's good on you. I think it's gonna bomb. I think it's gonna tank so badly they're gonna be ashamed of themselves. Because the main thing is it's gonna be about androids fighting each other. I don't know if that concept gonna hold up. I can't believe we've reached a point where I have to clarify this, but here it goes. A clearly exasperated Mielgo wrote on Instagram, "This is not AI. Hello, everything you see in this film, paintings, animation, 2D and 3D work, compositing and renders done with huge team, 155 incredible people and hell of hours, days, months. Yes, our Achilles heel, time. Many of you ask me what my opinion on AI is," he continued. "Honestly, I have no idea. But one thing is certain. AI will never take away your urge or joy for making art and painting. That part will never be replaced." I agree. I agree on that statement itself. I don't wish like real talent, real artistical work being replaced by AI in no form. But doesn't change that the game looks just fucking boring. You know, you can put like thousands of people into painting dog shit, like in every detail from every angle and making 3D, but it's gonna remain dog shit. You know what I mean, right? So it doesn't make sense, but it is what it is, man. It's fucking weird. I think you wasted just energy and time and all kinds of resources. Just because you won an Oscar doesn't mean that your work on this will save this game. It just looks horrible, man. It just does. We can look up a few frames, a few seconds here, and you tell me if that is anything for you. What's up, Luigi? So it looks very real life. The animation, like I said, is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Quality-wise, perfectly fine too. But that lifeless android shit in the whole game, has zero appeal to me. It's gonna be probably played by many the first month or so. But yes, that doesn't look nice. Not to me.
My mom. That's your mother. Your mother. Now, consider this. Do you recognize this chest?
No, not in my opinion. It's not gonna be doing good. It'll die off soon after. What was the other game that you played, like half Android, where you could jump around? It was a third-person shooter, and if you jumped from too high up, you just broke your legs, but you're still alive and all that. You know, I forgot the name of it. Die something. It was played by many people in the first month, and after that, now nobody is talking about it anymore, and I forgot the name of the game, so it's gonna be something similar with this one. Despite all the AI talk, despite everybody's praising AI, how well it's done and how cool it is and all that, people want more realism in that sense, more connectivity as a human being. Not representation. I don't want to see nose rings and blue-haired freaks in games more, or myself, but like the human part. We like to be connected to humanity of everything, you know. Mrs. Sarge, another gourmet lounge, even though I would mock it. It doesn't say a lot if you call it gourmet. It really does not. Marathon Classic was great. The classic Marathon games are free on Steam. There you go. According to Haste, you should get the classic Marathon games. Like mocking makes me cook better. I mean, I'm not mocking. I always just told you my honest opinion. What I tasted, what I put in my mouth, done by your air fryer. Don't blame me. Yes, Marathon. It's gonna be dead on arrival. It's gonna be dead on arrival. You know who is also dead on arrival, or was dead on arrival, dead on delivery? Mr. Beast. Look at this lifeless bitch. So horrible. And I talked about this. He is opening a theme park in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Beast Saudi Arabia theme park looks like a video game convention in a parking lot. I'm not going to go into this article at all. I just wanted to mention the title. I think that tells us everything we need to know. Because I think everybody can imagine what a video game convention in a parking lot looks like. I don't think it's going to have quality behind it. And that's what I said last time I talked about he's opening a theme park in Saudi Arabia. Despite him supposedly being the biggest YouTube ever, with the most subscribers ever, he is actually not as rich as everybody thinks. First, he has just this major deal with YouTube. We don't know how much money actually goes back and forth there. He just has this deal of exposure. YouTube is just promoting him most and all that, right? But other than that, he is not as rich as everybody's thinking he is. He is a millionaire for sure. He has enough money for himself. But I talked last time when I talked about the theme park opening that he has actually his whole crew signing up with his signature, like manufacturing his signature on the merch, like faking it. That's how broken actually his whole company is. And YouTube can't actually pay as much as everybody would like to think. Actually, Dear Sarge showed me an article. He thought like I should talk about it. I will not talk about it deeply because it's not in particular about Baby Shark, not actually making that amount of money everybody thinks, because YouTube just is not paying as much as they once did. I will remind everybody, YouTube was bought up by Google in 2008-ish, something like that. They started in 2006 or 5, something like that, and were bought up by Google. And Google just put in money and development, and just for a long period of time since they bought it. And in 2012, they did the first time made a little bit money, first time they made a little bit money with YouTube. And 2012 was also the first major actually ad apocalypse, meaning all of a sudden the creators just getting way less money. That was the first time. The second one was, I think, 2016-ish. Then the next one came actually in the pandemic or in the scamdemic, depends on how you want to call it, in 2021-ish, kind of came the next one. And the last recent one is actually this year, that YouTube just all of a sudden drops in viewership, drops in advertisement, drops on across the whole fucking platform, drops in subscriptions, memberships, and all that. It just shows that YouTube actually is not giving so much money out to all those creators. And Baby Shark is not like an incident or just a very particular thing. It's across the whole platform. So Mr. Beast is also not making billions of dollars from YouTube alone. But he has a contract for sure with YouTube, with Google, Alphabet, and the parent company, over all that crap. He's just being promoted all over the place. But he's dead. He's dead inside and outside. And this theme park just shows that Kotaku, of all places, phrasing it like that, looks like a video game convention in a parking lot, tells a lot. Like, he has no money to invest really there. The Saudis are also not giving him money to making that theme park. It's just a patchwork done probably. And he's trying to make some buck. Or like his healthy chocolate. I have to remind everybody, he's trying to convince everybody his particular chocolate, Mr. Beast chocolate, is extra healthy. Absolute bullshit. Amazon spent a shitload on Mr. Beast. Not on him, but the Mr. Beast games, which is also stupidity. I think nobody in the right mind is watching that crap either. But if you have Amazon Prime, go watch it and come to your own conclusion if it's good or bad. I'm not going to try out, But yes. And Mr. Beast by itself, the name alone. Why would you name yourself Mr. Beast? I don't remember where I heard this argument, but it's a very sane and sound argument. Why would you make your name Mr. Beast and being mainly for kids, teens, and even younger? Mr. Beast. Then you have this controversy. It's not controversial. He has a friend who is a tranny who left his family, and he defended that tranny. Yeah, you have to be reminded of all that crap over and over again, because we people forget very easily in these times. It's crazy. But yes, don't trust Mr. Beast. Don't trust anybody who claims such a name and being for children. Different times need a different approach to child sacrifices. Just saying. Just saying here, everybody. Wait, way ahead of me. What did Mrs. Sartre say? I put a link on Discord. Link, because it was... I like my air fryer, but like my deep fryer a little more. I mean, depends if you like to boil it in tallow or good oil. Maybe non-GMO sunflower oil or peanut oil. Peanut oil actually kind of more expensive, but pretty good. Peanut oil is decent. Beastland. Yeah, everything just beast. Marking of the beast. And I'm like I say every time, I'm not religious. I'm not even a God believer. But those people try to connect certain parts of prophecies because they believe in that and they want to be on the side of the evil, just to be like, yeah, evil is going to win somehow, whatever that might be. But I don't want to be a loser. I'm going to be the beast team. Advent cigar calendar. I got to see that. I like my. I read that. This guy was completely manufactured. Yeah, he might be even a clone or some sort. He is just not alive. If you look him into his eyes in any video, there's nothing. There's just nothing. No fucking human being inside. I would send link so you could see it, but Ike has cockblocker 2000 activate. Can't post URLs. Yeah, don't be a cock. Don't be a cock yourself, Sarge. How about that? Amazon spent a shitload of Mr. Beast chocolate, BS on his chocolate. This is the best. According to Dear Sarge, the Swiss is not the best. He said something like Belgian chocolate be better or some nonsense. Doesn't Mr. Beast co-host prefer fudge? What? I don't even know what that really means. I don't want to know. I'll pass on Beast Games. If Switzerland had a flowing chocolate mountain, I would move there. I mean, you get chocolate pretty cheap. Very good chocolate you get pretty cheap if you live here, Mrs. Soch. Just fucking go into retirement, fly down here for a month or something like that, Mrs. Sarge. You can sleep on my couch in the living room. I'm not gonna give you my bed. Fuck that. You're old. You can handle the pain. You know the pain already. On your back, I bet. So yeah, and I'm gonna provide you with chocolate if you want all day long. Mr. Yeast, either baker or genealogist. Mr. Yeast, that's disgusting. Why do you have the need to be so disgusting every time, dear Sarge? Why do you have all those disgusting pictures and thoughts in your head? Oh, Mr. Turkey? If he was fat than Mr. Feast. I think he's a robot. He can't get fat, you know. Fecal freak, tranny, fudge packer, fudge packy. That's a combination of words. When he's dead, Mr. Seast. What the fuck? I buy you a bed and I get the couch. Well, I'm younger. I'm gonna live longer, so I need to have it more comfortable, you know. Doesn't make any sense. I just say you can handle. My couch is pretty okay, by the way. Pretty decent to sleep even on it. I can sleep on it very easily, but I would need to move down instead of just the other room. So yeah. Mr. Seast. Anyhow, I gave you entertainment. Not like the rest of gay-ass Rumble. Pretending to care for you and your informative mindset. I'm going to give you news. News every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I talk about video games here on this channel. TAGN. I think I do like a decent job. I have my kind of issues with words, English words, you know, because English, not my language, my native tongue. I do a decent job though. And I'm gonna keep away from very mediocre talking points. rating girls with nose rings if they would not have their nose ring. I don't know, man. I think YouTube and Twitch and of course now Rumble is going downwards. I don't feel super well these days on Rumble either. The quality is just not there. It's becoming Twitch 2.0. I give us a Bible verse. A Bible verse? I don't know out of my head any Bible verse, something like that. At the beginning was nothing, and God spoke, let there be light, and there was light. I don't remember the exact wording, because I can't read Old Hebrew. Sorry. Don't fist other people, as you don't want to be fisted yourself. Is that a Bible verse? Maybe. I'm using your news right now. Good. Don't fist others as you don't want to be fisted. That's a good Bible verse. I mean, everybody who is claiming to be a Christian has some sort of applying the 10 Commandments in their lives, right? In their moral guidelines, right? Their character has to be a little bit in tune with the 10 Commandments, right? And I'm just saying, if you're a Christian and you still watch cocks on Rumble, you probably are a fake Christian. Just saying. Just saying. Might be only me, though. Maybe. Even me as a non-Christian, as a non-believer in gods in general at all, think like you're doing Christianity on a basic level very wrong. If you enjoy cocks to view on Rumble, or for that matter on any platform. You know, I think your moral compass is very broken there. Very broken. Best bud Silvercock. It's not even himself, you know, it's more like the viewers. Why are the viewers so retarded? So retarded. I try to think about what is the logic behind it. How can you claim you're like for morals in any capacity, but still watch that dude? It's all about the fame. It's all about the fame. Speaking of fame, give me more fame by maybe thumbs up, maybe that's gonna do some algorithm stuff. I don't think so. Rumble just claimed 2 days ago, I think it was on Monday evening, that they finally integrated the search engine of Perplexity, the AI search engine, into Rumble, and you can find stuff. I tested it out. I couldn't find any changes. I couldn't see any changes. I searched for game news. I got everything but game news, which is telling. Probably not working yet as intended, right? Chris Pavlovsky. Anyhow, next news, Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, here on the same channel, TAGN. If you're still not following, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go watch Silvercock, I would say. Thank you for being here, everybody. Much appreciated. It was very lively towards the end, mainly. Thank you for the rants, dear Sergeant Haste. Much appreciated. And take care wherever you are, whatever time it might be. Morning, evening, night. Enjoy the rest of that day. Bye-bye. Hey, look, it's working. A search engine that works against you. I just think it doesn't work at all. If I search for game news, I should find, at least on the first page, my stuff. Because that's what I'm in, the category. Game news. Video game news. But I'm not being shown. Maybe Rumble actually shadow banned me. I don't know. I don't think so. Wouldn't make any sense though. Not now, Kato.